I'm the styling director for Nordstrom, and I support all the image styling teams that work on everything from our big marketing campaigns to our online product page images. So my approach is really to think of it as a formula. One element is usually pretty foundational, and then the other two really add that new twist for the season. So Marine Horizon, what I really like about this trend is it's casual, it's easy to achieve, and it really looks pulled together because it has a tight color palette. It also works pretty much for any customer with some nuances because it's grounded in a really classic idea, which is nautical. So for our first Marine Horizon look, we have Tom here in a Norse Projects t-shirt with a helmet-length jacket, Levi's jeans, and to boot New York sneakers. So for our second look, we have a little bit less casual. The nautical element here is a bit subtler. It's really the striped tee and the overall color palette. And then the shirt adds that ease layer to make it new. And back to a slip-on espadrille that elevates it but doesn't make it too formal. So now we're going to go to Unplugged. So here we start with the utility, and then it's that natural in color and texture, which is like earth tones, faded neutrals, linens and cotton, or even more overt textures. For our first Unplugged look, we have Justin, one of our more casual looks, and he's wearing a private white jacket over a Carhartt t-shirt, Bonobos pants, and New Balance sneakers. So the jacket has that utility detail. It's in a lightweight khaki cotton and has a relaxed fit, which basically is the entire trend in one piece. For our next Unplugged look, Magora is wearing this beautiful Dries Van Noten jacket over an Our Legacy shirt, Hugo Boss pants, and Magnani sneakers. Notice the hybrid. It's important to the season is the backpack. And that's where we get the utility element. So for our next trend, also my favorite, which is prep pop. So here the formula is pretty straightforward. Here the top is that retro sport. The shorts add that classic trad. It's kind of a skater meets prep school look here. So for our second prep pop look, this is all about bold color. He's wearing an Our Legacy sweater over a Champion t-shirt, Topman pants, and Rail brand slides. And his bag is actually a North Face anorak that just stuffs inside a pouch. This look could easily get aged up, and you could skip the bag, swap the slides for a shoe or sneaker, maybe hem the pants a little bit shorter. So now that we've covered the big themes, we are going to move on to revisit some of the styling ideas that came up in the looks and I think are important for the season. So starting with layering, really for spring, it's all about the t-shirt. So for our first look, Tom is wearing a Norse Project t-shirt over a Vince t-shirt, short sleeve over long sleeve, Scotch and soda shorts, and great slides. And then for our second layering look, here Day is wearing a Ted Baker shirt over a Good Life t-shirt, Topman pants, and Magnani shoes. So this look is definitely bolder with the tropical print and the pink tee. My next styling idea is the casualization of tailored clothing, which I'm sure you've heard a lot about. This idea continues to evolve and gain adoption from even less advanced customers. For our first casualized look, we've replaced the shirt with a knit and the dress shoe with a sneaker, but what's really new is the bold print. So you really want to tone it down with a clean white sneaker. For our second casualized look, we have Magor in an H suit, APC shirt, and New Balance sneakers. So here we have the suit, again, back to the knit instead of a shirt and sneakers instead of shoes. But what's new here is the tonal head to toe. Even the sneakers, same color. All right, and then for our last styling idea, we're returning to ad sport. It's more than just adding sneakers. So now for our first look is actually our more sophisticated one, and it starts with a track pant. So I love the proportion play here with a 3/4 length coat back to the cropped pant. And what keeps it really laid back and easy is those layered tees worn untucked. So Joa is wearing a Herschel anorak, Rail brand t-shirt, AG shorts, and Vans. Here the sport piece is really the anorak. It's really worn as more part of the outfit versus outerwear, so you really may not take it off when you go inside. So last, I just want to leave you with like my quick kind of top 10 styling cues. Really, it's a list of top 5 for 2 different customers. So first I'm going to start with the core customer. Number 1, we have tucked. With all the slimmer fits, we're seeing a shift to wearing the shirts tucked more often. Number 2, buttoned. Whether it's a relaxed shirt or fitted, this really gives the look a finished, polished. The T-layer, which I've already covered in styling, but reiterating that because it's really a key update for the season and really easy to do. And then the pants hemmed short and worn without socks. Really, probably a traditional customer is not going to go for this, but for the guy who wants to stay updated, this one is really important. And then last, tonal. Here, again, as I said earlier, it really helps elevate more casual pieces when things are worn head to toe. Now for our younger guy, kind of the opposite, we have the relaxed fit and untucked. So wearing things more oversized, keeping it easy and untucked is kind of what's emerging for him. Along with this, we're also seeing pants worn more slouchy and extra long. On the other side for him, he makes his own crop pants by doing a double roll, usually about a quarter, 3/4 to an inch, and with a straight or a relaxed fit pant. And that leads to the next one, which is showing off those socks. So plus socks. Now here, it's almost like what's old is new and what's new is old. So this customer had already been doing the no socks, so now he's back to socks. And then our last is the crossbody, which we showed you earlier, and again, really a street style, fashion influencer trend. So for that guy that really wants to keep up with all that. And that's it. Thank you so much.